Internal linking, honestly, the bane of my existence. So important for a website success, yet so time consuming and frankly monotonous and boring. We know it's important and we know we need to do it, but yet it takes so much time and energy. Thankfully, Link Whisper is a WordPress plugin that makes it very, very simple. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a demo of exactly how I use it as a website builder and an agency owner. Now, I was one of the first beta testers of Link Whisper a long, long time ago. And so I feel very closely connected to this plugin, and I'm going to share with you all the different ways I use it. Now, Link Whisper is a fantastic plugin. It's constantly getting updated, and so I think you're going to really like it. If you haven't used Link Whisper yet, this is going to be a great overview of its capabilities. If you are using Link Whisper, I might show you and unlock some things that you're not taking advantage of. My name is Jared Bauman. I'm a co-founder of 201 Creative, a digital marketing agency where we work on dozens of different clients' websites every single month, so you can see why we would need a good process for how we manage internal links for our clients. I'm going to share with you today how I use the plugin, how we use it at our agency. There's a whole host of other ways to use the plugin, so make sure to note that this is just a tutorial of how I use it. It's not really a demo, and it's not really a review of the plugin. It's just a tutorial for how I use it. Now, one great thing is that I've managed to get a really great discount on Link Whisper for you guys. I'll include that in the show notes. So if you don't have Link Whisper yet, that'll give you a great way to go take advantage of it. Okay, so what are we going to cover today? First off, I'm going to share with you how to set up Link Whisper. And even if you already have Link Whisper installed, I'm going to share with you how to add advanced settings to add to what Link Whisper is capable of. We're going to get into how to pull in Google Search Console data, how to look at stop words, and how to set up some custom things that might make the plugin work better for you. Next, we're going to go through example after example after example of how to add internal links to articles. I'll show you how to use the suggested links that Link Whisper offers. I'll show you how to change anchor text and adjust and modify it. I'll show you how to find suggestions by typing in specific keywords, and I'll show you how to filter by different keywords. And where you really get some advanced techniques is when you combine the suggestions with the filtering. Then we'll move on to talk about how to delete internal links with the Link Whisper tool and how to really do an audit of your internal linking anchor text. Anchor text is very important in both internal and external links, and Link Whisper is a great tool to be used for auditing and deleting internal links. And I think it's one that oftentimes isn't used, and so I'm going to go through and show you exactly how to use that. I'll show you how to add internal links into an existing article or an article you're about to publish. Again, so far at this tutorial, we've been showing you how to point internal links towards a specific article. And in this part of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add internal links to other articles on your site. Finally, we'll wrap up by looking at the different reporting features that Link Whisper makes available to you. Frankly, the reporting features alone make the plugin worthwhile, and will give you full scope of exactly what your internal linking looks like. At the end of this tutorial, I think you'll find that you'll have a really good understanding of how to use Link Whisper, not just on a basic level, but on an advanced level. And believe it or not, if you wanted to, you could just hand this tutorial video over to your VA, your assistant, or anybody who works on your websites. And chances are they're going to be able to do internal linking for you without you having to even get involved. That's my goal, is to show you exactly how to do internal linking with this plugin so you don't even have to get involved if you don't want to. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our first example. We have lifetechshorts.com. Big thanks to Thomas for letting us use this site today. I'm not going to go through the process of installing the plugin because you can look that up and that's pretty easy. Once installed, I am going to go through some of the reporting and functionality because it's pretty amazing. So let's kind of talk about this. First thing you want to do is run a link scan. In this case, the links have already been scanned, and when you return, the links will have basically been scanned to the point that you last scanned them. And so if you're going to use Link Whisper, you pretty much every time you log in to use it, I recommend doing a link scan because that's the way it's going to pick up any newly published posts, any new published data, maybe from a connection you have like a Google Search Console. It does take a little bit of time, and once done, you'll go ahead and get the complete icon, and you'll see it comes back to the same screen. Now, this is kind of where you're going to live. When you go to Link Whisper, it defaults you to the post report. Right here, we have a dashboard. It's crawled 336 posts. So you can go ahead and compare that to your posts and see if that's accurate. I find it always is. It's found 1,320 links with 398 of them being internal links, and so that means the rest are outbound links. It's found 174 orphan posts. And that's one of the things we're going to touch on, and one of the best parts about Link Whisper is that you can quickly identify your orphan posts. Does check for broken links and 404s. It didn't find any. It gives you a overview of where you're linking to, and this can be really helpful if you're trying to make sure that you're not linking maybe to a competitor. It is like an overview, and so it's not a deep dive. You can get a deep dive if you want, but it looks like, 398 internal links, so the most linked domain is to itself, which lines up with internal links. You're also linking to YouTube, Amazon, ePearl, different Amazon. That's a shortener. This is the Amazon.com, and then a few others. It tells you a little ratio here as well. You can go into links report, and this is actually where you'll probably be living most of the time. This is the actual link by link analysis of what's going on. Let's go ahead and go through this. I will come back and we will be using this to build internal links. First here you have your post, and it gives you the title of the post. It gives you the ability to view the post. So if you were seeing the bottom left there, if I were to click on this, I could actually open the post and view the post live. It gives you the ability to edit and to add outbound links. We'll talk about that, but this takes you to the WordPress editor. So if I were to go over to posts and find this, how long do LED light bulbs actually last, and then hit edit, that's exactly the screen that I would get. This is just for support information. This is if you want to go to Excel with it. I don't personally have never used this. And this is if you just want to refresh the individual link count rather than refresh everything. This is how many inbound internal links are coming to how long do LED bulbs actually last. And you can lower this drop-down menu to see where it's coming from. And normally you're going to get the origin post out. So this looks like it's probably from a widget, maybe a plugin like recent posts at the bottom of a page. Not 100% sure. I'll show you one that looks a little bit better here in a second. This would be how many outbound internal links this has, and so it doesn't have any, and usually a good idea. Outbound internal links, excuse me, and so it's usually a good idea to add internal links to every article, so that's something we can work on. And then how many outbound external links? This is going to be to other domains, right? So this is going to be to maybe like an Amazon we saw, or maybe to an LED bulb site. So as we scroll down, we can see that most of the pages on this website are orphan pages, and perhaps these are also orphan pages here, but the reason they're showing is because maybe they show up in a recent post widget on a sidebar, or maybe they show up on a recent post in the home page, or maybe at the bottom of a post, right? So that will be something that Link Whisperer can pick up on, but a lot of these have 0 posts, and so they're orphan posts. I can go on to the next page, and the next page, and the next page, and I can see that a lot of these, here we go, here's one with 2 internal links, and so here we go. This is a great example. So this is an article on Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day Lemon Verbena Soap. Great hand soap for the kitchen. It's being linked to internally from the article How to Clean Your Air Fryer, Real World Demo, and the anchor text is Soap to Clean. And then it's also being linked to from How to Remove the Pad from Your Swift or WetJet, and it's Hands Clean. So relevant internal linking and relevant anchor text here, and that's what you really get the ability to see. Going back up to the top, we can go over to the domains report, which I don't use, so I'm not really going to touch much on it, but you can come over here and see which posts are linking to which external domains. And so you can see exactly which pages go to YouTube, and you can edit or view those. I don't really use that much, but it's definitely there to be used. You can track how many clicks your internal links have gotten in a post. So here is how to clean towels with LG's steam sanitary setting. And we can see that internal links here have gotten 8 clicks. There's an error report. You can play around a little bit more with this. Let's keep going here. If I were to go to add internal links here on the left, that's just going to be the links report from the report. So it's a little bit of duplicating there. Now, I don't use this feature in Link Whisperer, but I know a lot of people who do, and it's auto-linking. I'm not going to do a tutorial on it because I don't use it, so I don't think I'd be the best person to do that tutorial for you. I'm sure you can find a different tutorial. I do have friends who've done this really well, and we've debated using it for certain circumstances at our agency. We just haven't, so I'm not going to give you a tutorial on that, but know that it is here. The concept is that you can put in a keyword like, say, well, we just saw the LG, whatever that was, and you could put that keyword in and then the internal link to that article, and then it would create an auto link rule that every time that specific word or set of words or keyword was mentioned, it would automatically internally link to that article. So definitely something to look at. Target keywords. Now this is very, very interesting. Again, I'm not going to go through exactly all the details of how Link Whisperer gets this data. It is available. You can go read up on it on their tutorial section. The most important thing to me is you can come in here and kind of, if you want, tweak around the keywords that you want to target for each article. And this will come into play later on as Link Whisperer's kind of engine goes out and finds the right target keywords or the right pages for you to look for. But it does give you a deep dive on what it's doing here and how it's doing that. We do see that these are the active keywords that it's working with. It does not have any keywords pulled for this from GSC. It has one keyword pulled from Yoast, and it has 2 page content keywords. Again, you can kind of come over here and hold that over and read this. I recommend, if your site is getting traffic, that you do set up Google Search Console data, which we'll go through here in a second, because it does allow you to pull in more information. You can change URLs here. I've never used that personally. And then here's the settings. So let's talk about some of the settings I trigger on. For starters, you can pick if you want your internal links to open in new tabs. And again, this would be if I'm a user and I'm in your article and I see an internal link and I click on it. Do you want that to open in a new tab, or do you want it to just auto take you from that page to another page? I know that was a big deal for a lot of people. And depending on the website, we can turn that on. And the same with external links. Do you want those to open in new tabs? I'm not going to do that, not my website, but that's something that you definitely want to consider and you have available here. Ignore words. I don't tend to add a lot to this, but you definitely can. This would be probably site specific. So if there's certain words that you don't really want to show up and you don't want to be internally linking, a lot of times what will happen is on our team is we'll add these on a case-by-case basis, because you'll start using Link Whisperer and you'll realize you keep getting suggestions for a word that is irrelevant, and the site, the plugin thinks that your site is relevant for a word that it isn't really relevant for, and so you'll come in here and you can kind of set up this. Again, don't use it very much. Post types to process. So again, this is, do you want, like for example, a lot of times we'll turn off pages because we don't want internal linking to show up to show up to pages. It would depend on the site, right? For your standard kind of content site, most of the time we'll turn pages off. For a SaaS business, an e-com business, a local business, we'll leave pages on because we do want to internally link to those. This is important here. It's defaulted to publish, which is what I prefer, but it ignores private, scheduled, pending, or draft posts. Again, depending on your workflow, you might want it, for example, to allow for drafts, because maybe somebody on your team does internal linking before the article goes live. And if that's the case, then you can use Link Whisperer to find internal link opportunities in drafts. It comes defaulted as published. With the way we do it at our team, we leave this the way it is because we don't want to be building internal links accidentally to drafted posts. That's where we put stuff if it happens to get deleted. So to each their own, but no, this is available. Number of sentences to skip. Now, this is important. This is how, and again, you might not have a preference, but I don't like having internal links showing up in the first, really in the introduction paragraph. I don't know. I just, it's kind of a thing. I don't want to get them going somewhere else before they even get into the meat and potatoes of the article. I personally set this to 4. And this is how many sentences to skip in the article before it starts suggesting internal links. I'll leave it at 3 here for this website because it's not my own, but that way you have that there. All right, save settings and we'll move on. Moving on to content ignoring, you can ignore pages, you can ignore posts, you can ignore categories, etc., etc., etc. I don't know why that's in there, but it is, so I didn't put that in there. Post to be ignored from orphan post report. So again, you can just set up specifics to ignore. This is important if you want to go in and really get creative with how you're using it. Out of the gate, you can probably skip a lot of this stuff. More specifics in domain settings. Not going to go through that just because I don't think you need to worry about it. I will come over here though, and we'll point out something to you. A couple things actually here. First off, connect to Google Search Console. I personally highly recommend doing this if your site is getting measurable traffic, because what it's going to do is it's going to go and it's going to find keywords that your page, specifically your post or your page, is getting impressions and clicks for, and it's going to use that data to help fuel the engine that recommends that post for an internal link or internal links. Now, I can't add it, and I wouldn't add it necessarily anyways because it's not my site. Well, I'll show you in a little bit an example of a site that we own that we do have Google Search Console set up for. And I know on a site that has a lot of traffic, you'll get a lot of more advanced or more refined kind of link whisper recommendations. Another thing here is that target keyword sources. And so again, this toggle allows you to select where Link Whisper is getting their target keyword sources. It always enables the custom keywords because these are what you would manually enter, so you'd have to do this on your own. But aside from that, it is going to pull from Yoast in this case, or if you have Rank Math set up, it'll pull from that. It is going to pull from GSC keywords, although we don't have that set up. And then it is going to pull from page content keywords. Beyond that, there's never really anything else I end up tweaking here, but of course you can go through if you want. Hey, really quickly, if you haven't liked this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. I really appreciate it. This is still a pretty small channel, and your liking of the video actually really helps a lot. If you haven't subscribed, I am going to be publishing more content on plugin reviews and tutorials, and so you'll be able to be notified about that in the future. And hit a comment below if you have any questions or anything about how you're using Link Whisper. I do try to reply to all the questions on this channel. Okay, let's get back to the tutorial. Okay, with all that done, let's head over and start actually building internal links. All right, so there's a number of different ways to go about this, and you want to find your own way about it. I will walk you through some different ways that I will use Link Whisper. I don't have one exact way that I use it. And as such, let's go ahead and just kind of dive into some of the different ways you can use Link Whisper. One approach is to just whack-a-mole style, like just start building internal links. And I know that that's the least strategic approach, but it's also probably the approach you are going to be interested in taking when you first install Link Whisper. So let's kind of lean into that because there's nothing wrong with that. And let's kind of start building some internal links. So let's kind of build something here to this Miele 5006 dishwasher. I was actually just looking at dishwashers myself. So this will be kind of fun. So a couple things when you get into the report. I'm now in the internal linking suggestions report, and this is where I would build internal links. I'm creating links pointing to this article right here. If I clicked on it, I could open it up. You might say, why would I want to do that? You'll see in a little bit why you would want to do that. Now, here are some, don't skip over this. Here are some important things. You can only show link suggestions in the same category. And if I click it, you can see this is in the how-to category. So this could be in like, for many sites, this might be in the dishwasher category. And I might only want to build internal links to other dishwasher or from other dishwasher articles, in which case this is really helpful. I don't know much about this website. And since it's in the how-to section, I'm going to leave it unchecked because maybe there's a section on like reviews or something else that might provide good dishwasher internal links. This is very much if you're, this is a very important toggle if you're really into siloing and not wanting internal links to go outside of your silo. There's also only show link suggestions with the same tag as this post. So again, this is a tag from, it looks like YouTube. And so that doesn't look necessarily relevant for internal linking, but maybe you tag certain posts certain ways, and as a result, it can pull tags in. I don't really use post types to use in suggestions. So again, it has already gone out and found suggestions. I can now work with those suggestions. I can search by my own keyword, or I can filter suggestions inside this keyword. I'd like to note that I was one of the ones who helped come up with this concept here. I'm sure there were others too, but this is a really cool filter that I love, and I'm going to go into here in a little bit. I'll typically start with the Link Whisper suggestions and then move to searching by keywords, okay? So for starters, it's gone and given me two internal linking ideas. And what that means is that there are two other articles that Link Whisper has found, this one and this one, that it thinks has opportunity to internally link to how to start my Miele 5006 dishwasher. And here is one on my new Miele 500 dishwasher first look. So that would obviously be a fantastic internal linking opportunity. They're incredibly tightly related, right? Now, the most valuable one that Link Whisper thinks is this right here. Report suggests that Miele dishwashers should last around 20 years. And what it's proposing is that the highlighted blue text is going to be the internal link. So you get to see the anchor text, and you obviously know that the internal link is going to this article. Now, you can look at other suggestions and scroll down here. And we can see really quickly that it's going to be suggesting target anchor text closely related to the concept of Miele dishwasher. Although it is, when down here, when you see it, it is finding Miele 5006 dishwasher, okay? Now, I can choose to pick one of those, and for right now, let's just go ahead and go with this. And I'll select the checkbox, and that means that I am approving this keyword to add the link. It hasn't added it yet, so don't worry. It will have to run it, but you're kind of going through and selecting everything you want for the keywords here. I'm sorry, for the internal links. Too many concepts going on. Let's go look at this one. This is from Cleaning Stuck on Instant Pot with Miele 5006. So this is probably looking at how to clean an Instant Pot with this specific dishwasher. Again, highly relevant, right? We have how to start a Miele dishwasher, the 5006, and it's about how to clean it, right? And so here we can see 5006 dishwasher, and it's finding all these terms. It's Miele 5006, dishwasher like Miele 5006, Chan's Miele dishwasher for its quick, intense wash cycle. So I could, check this right here if I wanted, and or maybe I want to go with this one because I like that. I like the model number in there or something like that. Now I could hit add links, but I don't love that idea right now, and the reason is because this is an article on how to start the Miele. It's not an article on the Miele, right? It's an article about something specific in the Miele, and so you want to be careful. And I've talked about this many times in different articles that I've written and tweets that I've published about you don't want all your anchor text to an article that's about a specific topic. You don't want all your anchor text to be generic. And I see this mistake a lot. Okay, I audit a lot of websites. And this is a common mistake right here. This would be a mistake. It wouldn't be a mistake on a micro level. I don't think that adding two internal links with somewhat generic anchor text to this how to start the Miele dishwasher, I don't think that's going to cause all havoc to break loose. But if you start engaging in that pattern of general anchor text in your internal links across a whole site, we do start to see problems. So I don't think with these check marks in place, I don't want to add these internal links yet. I want to do a little bit of a better job. So let's look at a couple ways around this. For starters, I'm in the Link Whisper suggestions, and sometimes I will try to filter by certain words. Now, I probably won't find much because there's only 2 articles here, but if sometimes there's 30 or 40 recommendations, and filtering really starts to help there. Now, this filter suggestions by keyword means I can put a word in, and it's going to filter all these by if the word is used anywhere. And so let's go. You can tell I'm getting a lot of Miele dishwasher topics here. Let's see if the word start is used anywhere in the suggestions, and it's not used in any of these suggestions. And so I could come back up here, and I could, maybe let's just do that for now. I could put start as a target keyword. Now, the difference here is that this is filtering for its already found suggestions, whereas this will do an entirely new round of suggestions. So you might not want to generate that engine there, but let's go ahead and give it a shot just to show you. I'm going to hit the search button, and it's going to go out and gather suggested data, searching for the target keyword start. And now I've got, look at this scroll, right? Oh my goodness. You might say, I can't work with this. This is all stuff about, a jigsaw, and I don't want that. Well, what if I were to now filter by dishwasher? And it didn't find anything with the term start for the for dishwasher topics. So that's also out. So let me go back and let's see. I think I have to go. Is that what I would do there? Yep, there it goes. So I would just clear that out in research, and I'm back to where I started. So here's what I'm going to do now, and this is where Link Whisper is, again, brilliant. I'm going to go ahead and edit this sentence. And when I click this, it brings it up to the top, and I'm going to hit edit the sentence. And what it does is it allows me to change the sentence and change the anchor text, okay? So what I'm going to do is, with its space-saving design, impressive features, and well-known reputation for longevity, I'm confident that my blah, blah, blah will provide years. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. With its space-saving design, impressive features, well-known reputation for longevity, and easy to use functionality. I am confident. And then I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to go ahead and just click all the way out to easy to use. And what that did is instantly change the anchor text. Now, I will say this is still not great anchor text, right? But it is better because I'm alluding that my Miele 5006 dishwasher is easy to use, which is how to start the Miele dishwasher. That's one way you can do it. I mean, you could put, as I don't know the Miele dishwasher specifically, but you could put space-saving design, impressive features, well-established reputation for longevity, and quick start functionality, right? And that might be better. If I was really deep diving this, I would research the Miele 5006 and maybe add something specific about the starting features there. And then we can kind of come down here and look and see if there's any opportunity here. And here I have a good idea here. So let's go ahead and so I decided to give my Miele 506 dishwasher's quick intense wash a shot to test how effective it is. Well, we could easily make this. So I decided to start my Miele dishwashers. So I decided to start my Miele dishwasher using the quick intense wash. Save. And now I'm going to add the anchor text out to here. And now the anchor text is, so I decided to start my Miele 5006 dishwasher. And oh, there's an extra space there. So let's go take that out. And so I'll just delete that and hit save. And it's still there. So let's see if that goes away when I hit add links. You can also, whoops, you could also edit it that way, get rid of that, save, and then uncheck. Sometimes that's the easiest way. So there we have it. Now, once I'm happy with what I have, I'm going to go ahead and add links. Voila, success. So they were added successfully. And I can come here and just hit return to report. And it's going to now show me that instead of one, I have 3 internal links. I can see that here they are. This is the anchor text, how to start. Again, I think that's like a widget of some sort, but here we have easy use function. Now I'm confident that I can see that one that I added and start my Miele dishwasher. All right, let's find another internal link to build here. Let's go ahead and use this one here. Can you use the Swiffer on laminate floors? It currently has 1 internal link, probably, like I've talked about from a plugin or something. So I'll hit the add button here. It's going to go out and gather suggestions. Again, we're working with can you use the Swiffer on laminate floors, real world demo. I could only go after targets in this category or pages, but that doesn't seem very applicable. I could also, I could go by the Swiffer tag, which might be interesting here. Let's take a look. In this case, look, it's found really a lot of good internal linking opportunities. But as I scan, I take back what I said about good. It's picking up that real world tag or that real world in the title there. And this is not relevant, right? This is solar panels for mining cryptocurrency. That doesn't have anything to do with Swiffers, right? So this is an example of where as you get into your site, you might add a stop word or words you don't want taken into consideration with internal linking. And this one, real world, would be a good example. But going back to it, we do seem to have a lot of Swiffer. Can you use a Swiffer? Here's a Swiffer being mentioned and stuff. So let's see if we ever get the word laminate used in any of these recommendations. And we do get the word laminate used once. And so this is, can you use a Swiffer on laminate floors? And here's the word. And sometimes I just like to search laminate so I can find it. And so obviously it's here and here, but in the article. So here, let's find the right one. Nevertheless, I'm delighted with the clean floor results achieved the Swiffer. So that's just mentioning the brand name. It's clearly called the Vinyl Tile and Laminate Cleaning Solution. And I'd rather find one without that. I've already swelled my fifth. Yep, brand name, brand name, brand name. Here it goes. Works really well to clean laminate floors. Bam. That is what I would call a perfect internal link. Can you use a Swiffer on laminate floors? And in this case, it's referencing a specific Swiffer, but yes, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and add that link right away. Don't worry, you can still add more internal links down the road. You can kind of build off of it, but I don't want to really lose that one, if you will. Okay, so that's been added. It's going to keep me here on this same report, and I'm right back to where I started. Now what I might do, because now I'm getting this real world stuff, I might come in here and only target suggestions with the Swiffer tag. And so I'll hit regenerate suggestions. And now I just have Swiffer, which I can kind of see here. See, these are all just Swiffer articles. And so what I'm going to do now is see if I can isolate laminate. I don't think I'll get any results. Yeah, because remember I did that last time. And so now let's see let's try floor. That's a little bit more generic. And we've got is great for hardwood floors. And this is an article. Does it work on hardwood floors? We put our own floor on the line. So this is all about hardwood floors. And so, I mean, I would have to go into this article and add something about, it can also be used on laminate floors or something. So I'm not going to do that here. We clearly have another one on hardwood floors to spray water on the floor in front of you. So that would be a bit of a stretch, but that could definitely work. Let's keep looking. Perfect tool to help cut down on your sweeping time and keep your floors pristine clean. Hey, that's not a bad one. It is more generic. We're not talking about laminate floors. That would be better. But, you can't force the topic to some degree. Press the button and glide the Swiffer along your floors. A little bit more generic. Here we go, Swiffer WetJet to apply cleaning solution onto the floor. How to use Swiffer WetJet and keep your floors spotless. So here's what I might do. I know that you can use this on laminate floors because I've seen this. And so what I might do is I might edit the sentence to say, keep your tile and laminate floors spotless. And then I might build that link. And so this is an example of where you will hopefully know your content better. I don't know this content as well. Hopefully you or your VA or whoever's working on your site will understand that, hey, yes, a Swiffer can be used for laminate floors. I got that from the first internal link we built, and then you can kind of start adding these phrases in where you don't think that it's going to degrade from what you're doing here. So with that being said, I'm going to build that link and call it a day. I'm not going to touch these hardwood floor topics. They're not laminate flooring. I might build one internal link that's more generic about flooring. You could do that without it being too big of a deal. You've already gotten that laminate anchor text in there a couple times. And so you could now, in my opinion, balance with a more generic one. I think that that's fine. Maybe glide the Swiffer. It's even more generic though, to apply cleaning solution onto the floor. But I'm just going to build just these two internal links because it's not my site. That way you can kind of see the different approaches there. And success. And so again, I can hit the success tab. I can hit return to report. And then we can see that it's just added those two internal links there. And there we have, works really well to clean laminate floors and to keep tile and laminate floors. So if I wanted to delete any of these, I could just open this menu, this drop down there, and then I could hit select and I could delete that. I'm going to show you next why this is relevant. So one of my favorite features about Link Whisper is that I can sort by the number of internal links that articles have. And so what we're seeing here is if I sort in this way, I don't know if this is ascending or descending. I never can get those right. I think this is ascending. These are all the ones that have 0 internal links. This is one of the first things I will do with a new site is come in and just start building links to orphan posts because that's what this is right now. These are all orphan posts. But for the sake of me showing you where you might want to delete internal links, and I did a whole write-up on how I use Link Whisper to delete internal links as part of a link an internal link audit because that's a real thing. We'll get sites that we'll start working on, and the internal links are really poor because of what I talked about earlier, being too generic or not internally linking in a tight enough silo, and so we're missing that opportunity. So let's just kind of take a look here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is an article, Can Dr. Brown's Bottles Go in the Dishwasher? And when I drop down, I can see that there have been 7 internal links, and I get to see all of them with the anchor text from the article itself. Now, here we have an internal link from a review of Dr. Brown's anti-colic bottles from Real Dad. And the anchor text is a full write-up, which that would imply that this is doing a full write-up on something, whereas this is just answering a question. So I don't love that out of the gate, but I'm not going to delete it because I don't know much about it. What are discs for in Dr. Brown's bottles? And here we have Brown's bottles. Again, pretty generic because it's not about dishwasher, but I'll leave it for now. How to remove Swiffer wet jet cleaning solution bottle. And the anchor text is, can Dr. Brown's bottles go in the dishwasher? Since that's the exact title, I'm going to guess that that's some sort of widget at the bottom of the article, or maybe they put that in as a related article. We've got that a couple times here. Miel 5006, 1 hour intense wash. Miracle or myth? Hey, there's a topic we're familiar with. And it says dishwasher safe. So again, a lot of these internal links I don't really like. I could hit the edit button, or I could go ahead and get rid of them, or I could go view that actual article. And so let's go kind of see what we're talking about and see if this article is actually relevant for Dr. Brown bottles. I also loaded Dr. Brown's bottles, which are dishwasher safe. And if I go back here, there's an internal link about, can Dr. Brown's bottles go in the dishwasher? That's actually a pretty good one, right? I would rather have it say Dr. Brown's bottles, which are dishwasher safe. And so I wish that this internal link was used elsewhere, but I understand why maybe it wasn't. So this gives you an idea of how to use Link Whisper to delete internal links. And again, I can go here and see if this is very relevant for the dishwasher concept. So let's see, can Dr. Brown's bottles go in the dishwasher? Yes, Dr. Brown's bottles can go in the dishwasher. Oh my goodness. Okay, here's a great example. I did a full write-up about washing my Dr. Brown's bottles in the dishwasher. I prefer that to be a different internal link because I'm not getting the relevant anchor text that I want. I have an article on, can Dr. Brown's bottles go in the dishwasher? And I'm internal linking in a more generic way than I need to. And so what I want to do is internal link either this anchor text to this article or this anchor text to the article. That's going to send a much better signal to Google, and as a result, going to help this article perform better, just as a result of the more specific anchor text used in the internal linking. And so again, this is how I use Link Whisper to audit and change my internal links. Now, what I could do is just hit delete here, and then I can go back and I could select this article and hit add, and it would regenerate and more than likely go out and find this article, and then I could internally link from here. Or I could just edit this article right here, hit edit, and add it myself. Either way, it's pretty quick with Link Whisper. But the best part is if you're doing that audit, you can, and this is what I really recommend to people, is look at it in two parts. And this is how I did on one of my really big websites that had over 800 posts, and the internal linking was awful. I just kind of let a VA go hog wild on it, and I didn't give them much training. My fault. They did a bunch of internal links, but they were too generic. And so in an effort to go through, I didn't want to go through and sharpshoot each post like I just recommended. So a different approach, and one I've used, is I would just go through and go, I'm just going to delete this one. And I would delete anything that wasn't relevant. And then I went as a second step back, and I added it. I redid the internal linking in a second step, because then it would find these other internal links. And that can be easier sometimes. You just go through the audit, and then you come back and you redo all the internal linking process as well. All right, let's take a look at a different website here. This is Weekend Growth. This is the website that we run and manage and share this kind of content on. So I thought I'd show you Link Whisper from the back end here, and we could go through a couple examples from a different website. So again, in the link report, there are a lot of different opportunities here. You'll see that some already have internal links added, none have a lot, and some have just one in many cases. Now we can go ahead and sort those internal links to see if there's any that we have that have 0 internal links. And so you can see why you might want to exclude pages, because, you know, there's different pages on here that aren't really, you know, helping us much here. I really want to go after blog posts. And so what I can see is that it looks like there are no blog posts with 0 internal links, which is great. That means I don't really have any orphan posts. But if I go a little further, I can probably find some pages that only have 1 internal link. So here's an article on how to center a ConvertKit form in WordPress. And right now, it's, again, getting linked to just from the sitemap. So that's as good. And that's probably why we're seeing that we don't have any orphan posts, is because everything that gets published goes into the sitemap, and everything in the sitemap has an internal link. And so while this isn't orphaned, technically, there's no in-content internal links. And learning that about a site is great. Now, I knew that already, but I'm just trying to just kind of show you how to walk through and identify that, hey, even though this Link Whisperer says I don't have any orphan posts, technically speaking, I would say that if the only internal link to an article is from the sitemap, that isn't serving the true intent of an internal link from an article. So we need to add internal links to this article and to all articles that have one internal link. So I'll go ahead and hit add. And what it comes up with are 2 suggestions here. And this is an article on how to center a ConvertKit form. I find it very odd. This is where, hey, you know, I'll just be honest. Sometimes Link Whisperer gets it wrong. Why they would suggest MailerLite as the internal link anchor text here and not say ConvertKit is a little weird. But again, the great thing about Link Whisperer is that it gives you the ability to think and to work with the plugin beyond what it suggests. Sometimes, I'll tell you this, it gets it right and it gets it perfect. Other times you just need to make some adjustments, and every once in a while you just need to ignore its suggestions. In this case, let's see. In this case, we have a suggestion we're going to ignore, obviously, but there might be something in here because this clearly is about ConvertKit. And then embed form to your WordPress. And I know for myself, this is a page that we have. And so again, this is a great example of where you might want to go back and exclude pages if you don't like any of the suggestions that it's offering for page level. Now, what I'm going to do, though, is, again, as I've said, I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to search form. And because I really, the main word here is form. Now, I could search ConvertKit, and I might go back and do that. I'll start by searching form, and then I'm also going to start by trying to filter with ConvertKit. And just in case I spelled it with a space, which I hope I didn't, but just in case it got spelled that way, I'm going to go ahead and isolate these posts. So here we have MailerLite versus ConvertKit. And then that URL we were looking at earlier, MailerLite versus Beehive versus ConvertKit. And so these pop-ups in forms can offer incentives. And so this is generic. It's not specific to ConvertKit. It looks generic, but that's okay because it's about forms in WordPress about an email provider, and so I'm okay with building this internal link. I'm actually going to leave it generic at forms. You know what? Let's do this. These got to center a ConvertKit. Let's go ahead and do this. These pop-ups, and we'll hit edit. These pop-ups, and I'm going to put embedded. In WordPress. Okay. And that way, it's accurate. It's not taking away from the sentence. It's making it longer. Don't love that. But it's more specific. These pop-ups, I could even put these pop-ups on the website. And embedded forms in WordPress can offer incentives. It's a long sentence, but for the sake of demonstrating here today, I'll leave it in. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. So we have how to center a ConvertKit form in WordPress, and we now got embedded forms in WordPress. And then let's see. Both ConvertKit and MailerLite work fairly simply when it comes to how they handle forms. Now, you could go all the way out to ConvertKit here, but then I think you've got very long anchor text. And I think how they handle forms is giving us enough data to build that internal link there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit add links. And again, I think you're seeing throughout this tutorial that when it comes to anchor text specifically, you've got to kind of figure out where you want to land as a website and then how specific you want to be. Link Whisperer is amazing. It's never going to replace the idea of manually planning out every single internal link and every single anchor text. But that is a significant amount of work. As we all know, that's what Link Whisperer solves for us, is the ability to not have to do that and still get maybe 80 to 90, maybe even close to 100% of the value from internal linking without having to go to that degree, because a lot of us, me included, don't have the time to go to that degree. So let me just try searching ConvertKit here. And I'm not saying I'm going to get anything more, but I can try searching ConvertKit. And I got 2 mentions. And here we have how to delete tags in ConvertKit, and then we have that old email newsletter sign up. So, again, it's just pulling in the word ConvertKit. And so I don't love any of these unless there happens to be the use of the word form, which there isn't. And we could verify by hitting form there. And let's see, I already did form up here. So we kind of have exhausted that. I could go in to this article right here and add, and maybe I'll quickly go ahead and open it up and see if the word form might exist in there. And Link Whisperer mentioned it. The platform will remove the tag. That doesn't count. The platform, informing. So yeah, it's not used. So see, Link Whisperer didn't miss anything there. That would be a good one to try to go back and make sure that they did link to each other, because how to delete tags in ConvertKit and how to center a form in ConvertKit are both very tightly related. And so that would be something that we would want to go back and add some text to. Hey, sorry, before we keep going, just a reminder, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That really helps this channel a lot. Pretty small channel, honestly, at this point, and I'll be able to send you future tutorial videos that I do on other plugins that we're using at my agency. Okay, now let's get back to it. Okay, last thing I want to show you about Link Whisperer is how to use Link Whisperer to actually add internal links to other articles when you are publishing an article. So this is a different way to use Link Whisperer. All the way up until this point, we've used Link Whisperer to add internal links pointing to a specific article. Now I'm going to show you how to add internal links to an existing article or to a current article that go out to other parts of your website, right? So before, we were showing you how to build internal links from other articles on your website all to one specific article. Now I'm going to show you how inside of a single article, you can add internal links with Link Whisperer to other related articles on your site. Both are valuable, and I would argue that perhaps this is what you would want to be doing as you're publishing a post. And if you don't want to do it, maybe have someone on your team who's publishing the post watch this so they can learn how to add internal links with Link Whisperer as they're publishing a post. So I'm going to pick a few that I think will probably give us some good examples here. Here we go. Let's pick this article, 12 totally free keyword research methods. And I'm going to click edit here. And it will take me over to the article, 12 totally free keyword research methods. And if I go down to the bottom and I get down here, it might, depending on which plugins or different things you have loading, this might load several, below the fold. So you might have to keep going. But here is the Link Whisperer target keywords. And again, I can look at the keywords that it's pulling from Google Search Console, Rank Math, Page Content Custom. But what I want to look at here is Link Whisperer suggested links. And again, I see the same type of filtering that I can do here. I can only show link suggestions in the same categories as post, et cetera, et cetera. We've already been through that. I can filter displayed post by publish date. I can filter in here just like we did before. So I'm not going to go through all that because we've already done that. But what I can do here is look at what it's recommending. Now, again, you got to flip your mindset. This is sentences that are in this article that we're looking at right here, the 12 totally free keyword research methods, and it's recommending anchor text to link out to other articles, and here it's telling me which article it would link out to. And so is that what people are searching for on Google? How to use ChatGPT to double traffic? That's not very relevant, I don't think, so I'm going to ignore that one. But a lot of the keywords that people search for on Google have been picked up by keyword research tools, and it's going to quick keyword research. I don't know, that's why it's keywords research. That was a mistake in the URL, but quick keyword research in less than 90 seconds. I know that article. I wrote it myself, and it is using a keyword research tool. And so I'm going to go ahead and add that internal link. Now, again, from my 12 free keyword research methods, I'm internally linking the anchor text keyword research tools out to my quick keyword research in less than 90 seconds. Would be better if that anchor text was about quickly doing it, things like that, but I do think that it works. And then these other ones I'm going to ignore. So insert links into post, and now I've just gone ahead and it's updated the post as it shows me right here and added that internal link into the post. Success. And again, if I do keyword research, well, that's mentioned 7 times. Here it is, keyword research tools. And there's my internal link. So back out here, let's just do another one for an example. How to delete content for SEO growth. That's a really long article. And so I can just hit edit here and I can go in. And as you can see, I've already brought it up. This is how to delete content. And if I come down here, I get Link Whisper. I can update target keywords if I want to. And then I can start to look at what it does here. So what it recommends. Now again, from my deleting content article to other articles on my website. So we have several case studies that showcase, gotta go look at that. Email segmentation, that's not really a case study. It is in the case studies category, and that's probably why it's getting tagged there. Managing relevance through internal links. And this is 9 SEO tactics, and it is mentioning internal linking. So I'm going to be good with that. I'm going to go ahead and hit that because that'll link out to this article, which does talk about internal linking. And I might broaden the anchor text a bit because it's not specifically talking about internal linking. And so I don't want to focus my anchor text on just internal linking. So I will go ahead and expand that a bit. Here we have enhance your website's rankings and authority for implementing schema. No, that's not relevant. Yes, we've continued to work on the site, adding content and building links. And here's skyrocket link building with, yes, that's wonderful. We believe that the site, single word, and it's a site performance sheet. Nope. Deleting content, silos, or articles that are not performing can help your site's performance. And this is a site performance analysis sheet. Nope. I hope this case study inspires you to consider deleting content for explosive SEO growth. If you need help, don't hesitate to contact me. Well, yeah, that's a great internal link. So there I found 3 really good internal links. And again, I also found a couple mistakes and things I need to fix. And I can just hit add internal links to article. And again, it's going to update the article first and foremost, and then Link Whisper will kick in. And if I wanted to, just like I did before, I could show you where those internal links are. Okay, last but not least, let's look at the reporting features that Link Whisper gives you. They're fantastic, to be honest with you. I've said this before, but the reporting features alone, to me, make Link Whisper valuable. You would get enough value out of it just from that alone. So over here in Links Report, which is what we use to actually build the internal links, you'll see up here there's 2 features. And one is detailed export to CSV. And the other is summary export to CSV. I'm going to go ahead and show you both. I will go ahead and just click on each of them. And it's going to, obviously, export that to CSV. And then I'm going to do detailed export to CSV. And it's going to go ahead and download that. And then I'm going to pop these over into a Google Sheets doc for you. Okay, first let's go through the summary link export. This is the one that I use the most, to be perfectly honest with you. And what you have here is you have the page title, you have the URL, you have the type, whether it's a page or a post, the category that it's in, the tag that's given, the published date, any organic traffic. I don't know how they determine that. Average position, probably Search Console. You can tell weekend growth does not get much traffic, and it's not ranking very well. But that's a different thing altogether. We just basically use this as a repository for everything. Inbound internal links, outbound internal links, outbound external link. And you'll notice that that's very, very similar to what we were seeing when we were actually in here. Inbound internal, outbound external, right? So going back to this, here's how I use this. I'll go ahead and just add a filter, and I'm going to expand this so I can actually see the article and see the page title. And for the sake of this report, I will probably just exclude pages. And then so I can see all the different posts I have. And then I might sort by inbound internal links. And remember, I could see that these were, whenever I saw one internal link, I would be able to understand that that was in the sitemap, right? So these really have 0 internal links. But I can also start to check on various things like outbound internal links. So how I made this Amazon Influencer Program one has 0 other outbound internal links. And so I can also use this to identify articles that don't have any internal links in them to others. Another way I use this is that if you're looking to build links, external backlinks into articles, one great way to take the link juice that they offer is to build it to pages that have a lot of internal links on them, because you're in essence taking that link juice and then spreading it across a bunch of different articles or a bunch of different pages. That's one strategy. Certainly, this is not a link building course, but that's one strategy that you might want to do. And so here I can instantly and quickly see which pages of mine or which articles have the most internal links. It's another way that I like to use this. Yet another way is to actually look at category by category and see which ones have enough internal links pointing around to them, because again, this is my email marketing category, and I have 5 posts in there. And right now, there's some articles, this Beehive versus ConvertKit versus MailerLite article, which does get traffic and does have position ranking, and it has 8 internal links, but these could all internally link to each other. Like, let's be honest, they're all related enough. They're all about different types of content that is related to email marketing. And so odds are these could all have internal links to each other, but obviously they don't. One of them only has 1 internal link, and that's the sitemap. And then others only have 3, which really that's 2 when you take out the sitemap. And then this one has 4. So it also allows me to kind of break things down on a category by category basis and identify gaps in categories that aren't tightly internally linking to each other, helping topical authority. Now, if I come over here to what's called the detailed link report, or detailed link report, you can see that it gives me information on every single internal link that is a part of that is a part of the site. And I mean, it goes on for quite a while. I have my image, my screenshot here, but you can see, like, let's go in here, and this is how I would use this. So I might come in here. Well, first off, let's go ahead and set up a filter. And again, I'm going to use the summary export to give me a better idea of what's going on in the entire website. But I'm going to use the detailed export if I want to get an idea personally for a specific page. So for example, let's go ahead and take this how to use regex in Google Search Console, and I will just set up a filter to where it's only going to show me. What did I do wrong here? I had deselected all of them. There we go. And so now I can see every internal link that is pointing to this, and I can see the inbound link anchor text, and I can see where the inbound link is coming from. So we know that the sitemap has it. Apparently I put it on different thank you pages for when you register to join our newsletter. And then I can see that it's in quick keyword research, use regex in Google Search Console, handful of articles that were ranking for some keywords, how to find new keyword opportunities in GSC, learning how to deep dive keyword research in GSC with regex commands. And again, you know, this would be the deep dive. This would be what I would use if I wanted to deep dive an article or a silo or something like that. And so again, we could also, if I wanted to deep dive, say, a silo, we could do only a certain category. I was talking about email marketing earlier, and now we can see all of the internal links and the anchor text that we're using here. Anyways, so I'll leave it at that. There's a lot of different ways to use the reporting, but I wanted to show you the reporting and give you ideas of how we use it, but also kind of open your mind to some of the possibilities. Maybe you're not using the different reports to the maximum capability that you could be. And hopefully, you know, some of these ideas will spark something in you. Whew, that was definitely a marathon and not a sprint. I hope you enjoyed my in-depth tutorial on how to use Link Whisper. As a reminder, I have gotten you a great discount on the plugin, so make sure to take advantage of that, which is included in the show notes. And like I said during the tutorial, I'm going to be publishing more tutorials on different plugins that I use. And so if you want to be notified about that in the future, make sure to subscribe so that I can send that to you and you'll be notified. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you have any questions or specific scenarios about Link Whisper that I didn't answer in this video, go ahead and comment below. I do try to comment on every single video. Thanks for joining, and good luck with your internal linking.